You have a magical voice, dear ones. A beautiful, magical voice that needs to be heard.
That's Katy Samwell, a sound healer. She uses inventive sounds to help heal the mind, body, and spirit.
Feel the power of your voice as you sing.
And it turns out Katy's cat Jessie was a healer too, in her own way. That's on this episode of Rover Says, the podcast where we talk about the weird and wonderful things animals say when they open up to pet psychics. I'm your host, Nancy Aziz.
How did you end up with Jessie in the first place?
It's actually quite a funny story. I'd just broken up with a boyfriend, so it would have been 17 years ago, almost 18 years ago. And I'd gone to my friend's house, Florence, and she'd had one of her cats, Zaza, had escaped and come back pregnant. So consequently, there were three little kittens, and I was over at Florence's house, and Florence is French and loves really nice, fine French wine, and she had these three kittens, and she was like, "Oh, you should take one." And I'd just broken up, and I was like, "I'm not ready for a commitment. I've just come out of this horrible relationship," and I just wasn't. But I think maybe 4 or 5 glasses of fine French wine later, off I went in a cab with Jessie in a box. And I woke up the next morning with a bit of a hangover and they're like, meow, cute little. So, yeah. So I always call my friend Florence now the cat pusher.
Katy and Jessie shared a life together, moving from the UK to the US and more than half a dozen other times after that. Katy was contemplating another move, but she was worried what that might do to Jessie, who was suffering from severe allergies.
And so I tried all sorts of therapies. I tried acupuncture, Reiki, different homeopathic remedies, all for cats. So I'd done the holistic approach, and I did some Western stuff too. And nothing was really working.
Katy hoped an animal communicator might have the answers she wasn't getting anywhere else.
And I found out as soon as I connected with her that she was powerful.
That's animal communicator Kathy Van Gilder talking about her first session with Jessie.
And she was one of those animals, and there's been many that I've talked to that they don't take no for an answer. You need to listen.
Jessie didn't want to talk about her allergies. She had something more pressing to say.
I need to talk to my human about her and what's going on with her, because I'm very concerned about her. And I said, okay. And so I communicated that to Katy and said, well, sounds like she's not willing to talk about the allergies just yet, so we'll have to wait. So then when I asked Jessie, well, what is it that you're concerned about and what's going on? Well, my human is under so much stress. She's not kind to herself. She's thinking thoughts that are very negative, and I'm just very concerned about her. And she explained that she had gone through some kind of change and all that. I didn't know what the change was exactly.
When Kathy relayed that information back to Katy, it became clear what Jessie meant.
So then Katy explained, well, yeah, I just left my position in the record industry, in the music industry, and so I'm feeling really stressed. And what I want to do now, or what I am in the process of forming, is this sound healing business. Not only can I sing, but I've discovered sound healing, and it's incredible. But I feel like I don't really know what I'm doing, and I'm under stress all the time. And Jessie was picking all of that up.
This is actual audio from their session.
She's telling me, I know this is simple, but this is kind of how they present things, very simply and simply put forward. Believe in yourself. She's like, she's like, believe in yourself, Katy. It's all there. It's all there. She wants to talk about your work, so we will. She says that, your work is just out of this world, amazing. And
She says that you just don't realize how many people you can help with it. She says it's really astounding, and it's such a gift.
So how did you take that and what did you do with it?
The messages hit me in the heart in the way of I could really, tears came, but it wasn't tears of sadness. It was like, oh wow, somebody's recognized what I feel inside, but I, don't want to address, or I've buried.
That's someone, of course, her cat Jessie. Kathy says so often animals act as therapists for their people. It was only after Jessie was finished focusing on helping Katy was she open to talking about her own issues, her allergies.
But she said, what I really want you to understand is that these allergies flare up very often when you are not feeling your best about yourself, when you are deep in negativity about yourself, when you are deep in control about trying to control something that you have no control over. So that was the message, and it was amazing.
Well, I wonder what you did with that information then. Did you then consciously, really try and make an effort, and did that impact Jessie's allergies?
That was the question I asked myself. Did I? And I know that, yes, I definitely did some of it, but I wasn't conscious of it all the time. And I think, because life gets in the way,
Sure.
There's so much going on. So, but thinking back on it, there was definitely improvement in her in general when I was feeling good in myself. That was definitely reflected back at her. And what's easier for me to think about or to remember is when things have been really bad and how her allergies have flared up. So it was definitely, without a doubt, a correlation with me, yeah.
That wasn't so surprising to me, because I do know from my 20 years of communicating with animals that animals do absorb things. They are super sponges, and they absorb any feeling that maybe we're not fully acknowledging, or we don't know about inside of us, or any lower thought, that's negative. They can feel it, see it, taste it, experience it all.
Kathy says she gets joy from being able to help animals and their people better understand each other. She says she's been able to read animals' thoughts from a young age.
I was a very psychic kid. I could always talk to animals. I don't remember an experience where it was like a big aha moment when I was a kid, like, wow, wait, the robin's talking to me in the backyard. It just was always what I could do. And I really thought that everyone could do that. And I slowly, as I got older, realized that that wasn't the case. And I also grew up in a family where my parents were very afraid of anything beyond the five senses, and certainly anything psychic. And so I really had to keep that to myself and keep it a secret.
She later ended up in healthcare and as an intuitive healer for people, but it didn't seem to be the right fit.
One day on television, when my daughter was young, and she was watching, I don't know if it was Animal Planet or something like that, there was an animal communicator on. And I went, oh my gosh, I had never seen an animal communicator in action. And I didn't really know what that was all about. And I could just feel it resonated in every cell of my body. And it was like a lightning bolt hit me. And I knew that that's what my calling was.
Now she helps people around the country communicate with their animals in ways they can't do themselves. People like Katy, who needed her again earlier this year when a trip to the vet revealed Jessie had terminal abdominal cancer.
She contacted me and we did an emergency animal communication session to find out how was Jessie and where was she at with that, and was she ready to leave?
Like she had so many times over their 18 years together, Jessie wanted to make sure Katy was okay. Kathy says Jessie encouraged Katy to keep on with her healing work, while Jessie did her own special brand of healing.
like I said, it was almost like I had this big sort of blanket around me of love. I could feel this love that she, that she was sending me.
She explained to her that she was going to be able to help her in a better way now she said, well, I'm going to be on the airplane when you go, because apparently Katy was planning on taking a trip, and Katy was a little bit afraid to fly. So that was one of the things she said. She said, I'll be communicating through other animals to you. You'll know. I'll be meowing in your ear. You'll know. You'll hear me. And I'm also going to leave a feather.
And then there was one thing that really sticks in my mind, which was she said that, she's going to make herself known to me, and there'll be a feather. And I wasn't quite sure what that meant until afterwards.
Katy found out a few days later when she went to the vet to bring Jessie's ashes home.
And as I walked into the door of the vet's, right in front of the doorway was a huge feather right there. And it just took me right back to the call. And then, I went in, picked them up, and I came out, and the feather's there, and then there's a bird there. So she's, right there. She's telling me she's here. She's with me.
Thanks so much for listening to Rover Says. If you liked the show, please rate it and share. And we'd like to hear from you. Please let us know what your pets have told you or what they've told animal communicators. You can leave us a message on our website, roversays.com, and check out our show notes for a special sound healing Katy put together in Jessie's honor.